Everyone keeps saying AI is taking our jobs. Meanwhile, Astro is over here learning how to predict what page your user wants before they even click on it. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can add that feature to your own website. So let me just quickly show you a demo on how Prefetch works before we fully talk about it. And you might not tell the difference because I don't have a lot of content and Astro itself is blazingly fast. So let me just quickly show you. So I'll open my dev tools and I'm using a promise. So I'm awaiting this for about a minute or so. So a second, 1 second rather, not a minute. So as you can see, this page is profession when I hover on it. But I'll go to my elements tab. Okay, rather, I think it's my network tab. Sorry about that. So go to my network tab, and currently my network is on 3G. So this is just for demo purposes because I'm using localhost. So if I click on the contact link, it's not prefetched. So let's see how long it's going to take. So the main content has already loaded because Astro is blazingly fast, but the image took about 10,000 milliseconds. So let's see about the about page. So once I hover on it, you see that it's already prefetching and the page is already ready. So if I click on it now, the content should load immediately as well. Then the image should take approximately the same time, but I don't think it should be up to 10,000 milliseconds. Okay, I've forgotten what the previous one was, but I guess they are almost similar. But you get the gist of what I'm saying. If you have more content, you would see the difference immediately. So why does prefetching matters? So basically, user expects fast navigation when they visit your website, and the basic multi-page app reload still feels slow compared to a single page application. So prefetching fixes that issue by prefetching different pages quietly in the background before user clicks on that page, which was what we saw on the demo. And Astro makes this optional and clever because you can choose how aggressive you want the prefetching to be. So I have the documentation right here, which I'm going to leave in the description just under the like button. So in order for this to work, we need to first enable prefetching. So I'll go to my astro.config.mjs file and I'll say prefetch should be true. So what this line of code does is that it injects a prefetch script automatically on your pages. But for this to work, you need to opt in to use it by default. So if I go back to the project, you will see, let me coach this one this way. I've gotten rid of it, but I'm still using the 3G throttling. So that is gone. In order for us to opt into it, we need to go to, in my case, I'll go to my header.astro file. So yours can be whatever where your nav links are located. Then we'll add it as an attribute. So we'll say data Astro prefetch, like so. So we'll save, we just need it for just the about. And just a little note, this only works for internal links. So if you have external links, so something like Google or whatever website.com, is not going to work. It just works for internal links only. So just keep that in mind. All right, so we're currently in the about page. Let me go back to the home page. All right, so since we have this now, once I hover on the about now, you should see that the about page is being prefetched under the hood. So we've not gone to that page yet, but if we click on it now, it's not going to load fast because we've already prefetched all the content. You can see that the content load immediately. It's just the image that is taking some time because we are getting it from an external source. Now the cool part about this is that you can specify how smart you want your links to be. So there are 4 different strategies. So if you go to the docs, you would see it here. So 4 different ones. and the default one is the hover, so which is the one we are currently using. We also have tap. So tap basically prefers just before you click on that link. So the tap is mostly preferable on mobile because that's the best use case for it. And if you want to enable that, it's just setting it right here. So you can set it to tap like so. So if we go back to the home page, so let me go back to the home page. Right, so if I hover on the about page, you see that the page is not loading, but once I tap on it, you can see that the page tries to fetch that page before loading the page. All right, so the other strategy you can use as well is viewports. So basically viewports, just like the name implies, works or triggers when that page that the link is on is visible on the screen. So basically it just tells that link to get ready because the user might scroll to that particular section where the link is. Then the last one we have is the load, and load basically prefetches all links on the page after the page is loaded. So as soon as the page loads, everything is going to download by default. I really don't suggest using this except your website is small. Yeah, but if you have like a multi-page website that has multiple pages, I don't suggest you do this. And if we go back to our code, you can see that we opt into tab, but if I do data Astro, this is different. So the contact will be hover, this one will be tap. So if you want all your links to have a particular prefetch strategy, one way to do that is to go to astro.config. Then right here you can just let me get rid of this one. Then we'll say Prefetch should have a default strategy. Then you can set it to whatever you want to set it to. So you can see we have load, tap, viewport. So you can set it to the one you want to set it to. So if we do the hover is the one by default. So if I do load, let's try load. So if we go back now and pages refresh, so let me go back to the home page. So as soon as the page loads, you can see that the contact is here. Or did we add the contact? Let me check. Okay, so let me get rid of it here. So if you just do it like so and you do it like so without adding a particular preferred strategy, it's going to just use the load by default. So you can see that as soon as this about and contact link loads, this just prefetches by default. So we don't need to or have to over on them. And one cool thing about Astro with prefetching is that it adapts all these prefetch strategies based on the user network. So either a slow connection or a data saver. It just uses the one that suits its case. So you're kind of getting a smart prefetching, not a wasteful one. And that being said, you can also choose to prefetch all your links by default or select the particular links you want to prefetch. So this is what I mean. If we go back to our code, I can get rid of this one like so. All right, so if we go to astro.config again, I can choose to say prefetch all should be true. So if this is true, any navigation links I add right here will be prefetched automatically. So you can see that the about is prefetched, the contact is prefetched. So if we go to the header, you can see that we didn't need to add the prefetched attributes right here. I don't know why you would do this, but I mean, it's there for you to explore if you choose to. But you can also choose to opt out. So by default, all these links are prefetched, but I can say, okay, I don't want this one to be prefetched. So I will just say data astro prefetch like so should be false. So this should be false. And I guess I didn't spell prefetch very well. All right. So if we go over this again, you would notice that only the about page is going to be prefetched. The contact won't be prefetched. So you can see it right here. Only the about is showing. So let me take this back to neutral lane. So one question I guess that you might be asking is that what if your navigation isn't a regular A tag? Because all what we'll be talking about is using an A tag. So you don't have to worry about that. Astro has also thought about that and have a better solution for that. So if I go to the docs now and I go to this prefetch programmatically, so what this does is that it allows you to prefetch a page before actually clicking on it. So if I copy this entire code right here, and this is just using the Prefetch API from this Astro Prefetch module. So if I go right here, I can come to the index.astro file, and for now, let me just comment these guys out, and I'll paste this one here, like so. Then this is throwing an error, so we just do as HTML button elements, I guess. So I think it has to be like so. All right, cool. So if I go to, I think, let me check my header file. If, okay, we are good to go, then I will get rid of this, and let me just set it to the default one. So true, like so. To see how this works. So if for any reason you want to add like an interactivity that happens, so once the user clicks on this, you want to get a page prefetched by default, you can do that. So currently now, you will see that no page is being prefetched, but once I click on the click me now, on this click me button, you will notice that the about is already prefetched. So once I click on the about now, it's not going to take a long time for it to load the actual content because the page has already been prefetched when we clicked on this click me button. And this also respects the data saver and the network condition. So if the network condition is bad, so if this is very, very slow, it's going to fall back to a preferred or a better option. Then you can also choose to override this with a ignore slow connection true. So I think they added it here. So if you put this line of code, you can also ignore slow connection if you want to. So it's just by doing it right here, like so. All right, so basically this is mostly what you use prefetching for, or rather this is what I'll use it for, but it goes beyond that. As you can see, we have what we called eagerness, and basically if you want a situation where you could tell the browser how eager you want to be about prefetching, this right here helps you achieve that. So I don't want to bore you with this entire stuff, and it's added in Astro 5.6, and I think if I go to my own package, I'll just say file. So we're using 5.16. So it's very much working on the current version of Astro as at the point of recording this video. So if we scroll down, I'm just going to show you how it works. I'm not going to implement it. So basically, still using the Prefetch API, you can now just use, I think we even use it right here. You can use it right here rather. So it's just to pass in the eagerness that you want that page to load. So if the page is resource intensive, you can set the property of this eagerness right here to conservative, or the value rather to conservative. If the page is critical to the visitor, you can set it to immediate, and I think that's the default version. So this is the default version right here. Then if you don't want the page, or that page is not regularly visited, you can set it to moderate. And also you can use prefetching with view transitions. I'll be talking more on this on the next video, so do well to subscribe and turn on your notification for that. And lastly, for the browser support, it supports the common browser you use, so Chrome, Firefox, and Safari. So in case if you're using an old version of Astro, you can choose to upgrade it to like this, and I still guess it's going to work if you still use the version that you're using, this one right here. But if you're upgrading to a much higher version like what we have here, you need to update it to be like so. Alright guys, so that's the end of the video. I will leave a link to the documentation in the description, and I'll also suggest you try going through the documentation for yourself and trying each of the strategy. And also, if you learned something new today, please hit the like button and share the video, and also share what strategy you are using on your own application. See you on the next video.